Hello, this is Heather. So I'm just going to wait a moment to see if I get any friends that are going to join us today. Whoop, whoop. Hello, I'm Heather from Brutus Monroe, and I'm going to be talking about our brand new August release. So I'm just going to wait a moment and make sure that some people have some time to get notified and join us and maybe grab something to drink or a snack. And then we will get started today. How's everybody doing today? I know here in Pittsburgh, Brutus Monroe is going to be at the Green Tree Farmers Market, and we're going to have some very new and exciting items up there. I think it starts at 4 o'clock. Hello, Sherry and Marlene. Awesome. I'm glad you could join us today. And then Polly. How are you doing, Polly? I haven't seen or talked to you forever. And Candy and Tina, awesome. People are starting to come in. I know you guys are used to Christopher going live. I know he's going to be doing the farmer's market. I don't really know what his schedule is. Hello, Anne, off the top of my head. But I wanted to show you some new and exciting items. One thing, unfortunately, has sold out, but you can click on to be notified. It's hot and sticky there. Oh, I bet. Everybody's been having atrocious high temperature weather, and I am still without air conditioning. So hopefully, I don't know, by 2025, maybe we'll get air conditioning again. Yes, Candy, it's been so long since you were here. Yes, we're going to be stitching. So I wanted to show you some of the goodies that we have in-house and some fantastic ways of using them so that you guys can make a card or a scrapbook layout or a journal. Honestly, you can also use these on clothing items or bags. So it will be fantastic. So should we jump down onto the table and get started? Okay, Candy, you better watch. I will be jumping down. So here is all the stuff that I borrowed from the store, and I think it's fantastic. So with the August release, I know that Christopher has been showing you the brunch and the pancakes and the waffles and the eggs and the bacon and everything. But another fantastic line in the August release is a stitching line. And it's 3 parts. Whoopsie. So it has a stitch border stamp set. And this, unfortunately, is the item that has sold out. But we are going to be getting them in stock very shortly. So you can go to BRU, let's see. So if you type in BRU 5673, you can actually put your email in, and then you'll be notified as soon as we get them back off of the truck. So those will be coming very shortly. And then along with the stamp set, we have a template. So if you want to use a piercing tool or something very sharp with something underneath it that's not so sharp, so you can put it onto your paper or your project, you can use that. You can also, the holes are big enough also to be inked, which is fantastic. And then there's a die set. So all 3 of these can be used independently, thank you, Candy, or all together. And what I love is that Christopher was playing around and he made a wonderful stamped example. So what he did is he stamped the set out right here, and you can see right where he did that at. And then he came along with the stencil and just laid it on top. And what you can do is you could actually use embossing or some of our paste and it'll look like you have knots, which I think that would be a fantastic way of using that. So I'm going to set this to the side. And then if you type in floss, there are two. Oh, well, it might have sold out, but we make those in-house, Candy, so we will be getting those back in stock very quickly. Daryl's just using the laser as quickly as he humanly possibly can. I know things are selling out very quickly from this release, and we're trying to bring back the items that we can as quickly as we possibly can. So up in the store, we have two different types of flosses, and I should have brought the one down. But the one is actually candy. It's cotton candy. It's called Floss. And I think there's a grape and a red raspberry one and champagne maple. And oh, there you go. So Christopher just found a batch and he put them back into stock. So fantastic. Thank you, Christopher. And then the other type of floss that we have is the embroidery floss. And you guys are welcome to use what I do today, or you can, there's tons of videos out there. I know Jennifer McGuire has some out there. There's just tons of videos you can type in embroidery stitching and everything will come up, or create your ending, grab a needle and some floss and just get started. So we have a ton of different colors. This one is the Rouge tints, and this one is the Glamour. This is a pastel one. This is the Basics. Go Green. Blue Heaven. Variegated Brights. Lavender Dreams. Natural Selection. And the black and white mix. Now, I will tell you that there's two different types of floss here. So there is the traditional 6 skeins, which means, let me grab. I've been sewing this afternoon for some of these examples. So if you look at a traditional floss and you pull it apart, you get 6 individual threads right here. Do you see that? And what you can do is you can use them all together, which is what I like to do when I'm using it on cards or embroidery. You could use 3, you could use 2, you can really use any amount. It's up to you. It just depends on how thick of a line you want with your floss or thin. And then we also carry some of these flosses are actually called hanks, and they're just single twisted. So I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't come apart. Hello, Christina. So we have all these different types of floss, and Candy has been kind enough to put the link up there. And I want to delve into this just a little bit further. So when you first get your die, it is going to come together like this. And you can break it apart. You can cut it apart. What I did last night till like 4 o'clock this morning is I cut this into 3-inch strips. And what I did is I ran this through my die cutting machine a few times, and I got from this assorted pack a whole bunch of these. Tell me that that does not look like super fun. And what you can do is you can add these to projects. You can sew them or leave them unsewn. But what's fantastic is you get all these different types of stitching patterns. So you get the traditional cross, like just the cross of a stitch. You get the staggered stitch. Oh, here's Chris. Ooh.
There are officially 6 inspiration boxes left.
Oh my gosh.
I just ran the reports. So, if you want them, grab them.
Ruh-roh. And there are some things in there that we are not going to be restocking. The inspiration boxes, once they are sold out, they are done. And it is what? Is it the 3rd of the month? I think it's like, yeah, it's the 3rd. So grab your box if you are inclined, because truly it is the way to go. So Christopher brought me a little gift. So this is a needle threader, and it has a couple of different ways of threading your needle, which is so fun. But what I like to do when I'm sewing on a card is to get a tapestry needle. And what a tapestry needle is it's something that is not too sharp down here, and it has a nice open threading point at the top. I think it's called the eye of the needle. So if I use Christopher's new toy, yes, get your inspiration box. The best bet this month, I'm telling you right now, and a lot of you have taken advantage of it while I'm opening this, I want to talk to you a moment, is the Pick 5. The Pick 5, you get a couple of different choices. Your most bang for the buck is to get the inspiration box, the die of the month, the stencil of the month, the Stamp Club Plus, and the embossing powder. It's $65, and then it's plus shipping and handling. So it's roughly $72 if you are in the continental US. Now, a lot of you ask me a few different questions. One of them is, Heather, what happens if I want to see what next month's box is? Well, you can do that. You can make your date on, say, the 5th. But the thing is, after the 1st, if your box is not there, it can be sold out. So if you're on the 1st, you are guaranteed a box. After that, they go up for sale. So you are welcome. They go up at midnight Eastern Standard Time, and get your box today. So a needle threader, let's jump back into the sewing. I'm going to take this bendy part. Do you see what I'm doing right here? And I am going to put it through the eye of my needle. And what that does is it allows a bigger space for my embroidery floss to go through. And then I'm just going to pull my needle backwards, and look, now my needle is threaded. So to go back to where we were talking about the different types of stitches on here. So there's this zigzag. There's, I think this is called a crosshatch. And I think this is called herringbone. It's been quite a while. I used to be in 4-H a million years ago. I've won a couple of ribbons and my stuff's gone to States, but at almost 50, that was a long time ago, but so much fun. So if I was you, I would grab the items that you can, which is the template and the die, which is what we're going to be working on right now. And you can have as much fun as I did. And grab. That is fantastic. Polly uses a dental floss threader for her needles. This is sorted pack. It does not contain the pinks. It does not have lunch bag, and it does not have the raven. But you get 12. You get 15 sheets, and you get one of each colored cardstock that from the original set that came in. So those colors, Christopher has this wonderful little guide. Hello everybody who's joining us. So I do want to jump into what we're doing. We're going to make a card today. And let me... So I die cut. I didn't do anything but grab that paper, and I'll show you exactly what I did so that you guys can all do step by step in case you want to do this card. And then what I'll probably do is do another live next week on some more stuff, or I'll just make a bunch of stuff and then throw it up on the website. Oh, that's fantastic. I can't wait to see what you made. So what I first did is I took a piece of cardstock. Should we use Christopher's favorite color? So I took some of the jack-o'-lantern. So the big thing is there is a bundle, but the problem is the stamp set is sold out. So you can get the die, you can get the template, and then you can get the floss. And I suggest you get those things now because everything is selling out. And then when the stamp comes back in, grab it when it comes back in. So I cut my cardstock this way for a 3-inch cut. Everybody with me? And then what we're going to do I am going to pass on Christopher's lawnmower. And I am just going to put this through my die cutting machine. And this is all I did last night. And what's really fantastic is you can make a bunch of these and just enjoy it later on. So our cardstock is 100 pounds solid core, which means the color goes all the way through. Now, because this is very detailed cutting die, I like to put it through a few times. And that way, whoopsie, everything that I want just falls out. And I know you guys like to see what we're doing in person. So, do you see how you get all of the different stitches or the dies? And this is what's really fantastic about this die set. You get all these different pieces and you can use it just the way it is. You can also use it as a border. You can use it on a stitch. And then what you can do is take your floss and sew it. And again, I apologize, I don't remember the name, but what I like to do on the end, first of all, I cut my thread. I don't like to cut it longer than a yard, and roughly a yard is from your fingertips to your nose. And so when I cut my thread, I measure it from my fingertip to my nose, okay? And that's all the longer I want. You can go shorter. 18 inches is great. You typically want a rough estimate is 3 times the length of what you're going to be sewing. And by me doing 1, 2, let me do that again. Sorry, I've been sewing for almost 50 years, so some of it I just do automatically. But to put a knot on the end of my thread, I just grab it down here. You see how I'm grabbing that? And I go 1, 2, 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the eye up in the air, and I'm just going to pull my needle through, and it creates a knot. Now, if you want to, you can do what I did last night, and you can punch out all these different little dots in case you're not going to sew them or because you wanted to. but your needle, this 22 inch, or sorry, not 22 inch, but this number 22 tapestry needle, it is not so pointy that it is going to scratch your paper. And literally it is perfect for poking all these out because I'm going to just sew. Now, if I want to hide my tail, I'm just going to put it behind like that. And I am just going to start going up and down. And what you can see is just the back and forth literally just creates my pattern. Everybody with me? And you can see those little dots are just falling out. And my needle, because it's not so pointy, this 22, it's not scratching my paper. The 100-pound paper that Brutus Monroe carries, it is perfect because it's very strong. Now, if you're going to be a Neanderthal and pull with all your might, paper will rip. But if you just go through the motions, you can get everything going. Hello, Glenda. And you can see I am not really the most gentle of people. And this paper is holding up. And I'm trying to show you this as I'm going, so some of my thread is getting a little tangled, and I can just straighten it by running. And you can pull this off. This is what's really cool. If that happens to you and it starts just coming apart, if you just run your fingertips have oil on it that will help that all just stay into place. I'm going to use Christopher's threader. Oops. Clean up my workspace a little bit. Now, I know that Sweater said that she had sewed on a card. Has anybody else sewn on a paper product before, or have you sewn in real life any clothing? The other thing that I was thinking of when I was doing this die earlier, this could be a perfect baseball stitch, or softball. So you could do this in red, or you could just do it in white with the red the red floss. You could also do the stamping or the die cutting. I know Halloween is coming up. You could do this with Frankenstein. You make all your daughter's clothes. That's amazing. Sandra has done cards and clothing. Polly, I want to see some of your guys' projects on the Brutus Monroe fan club. You sewed a mini album. That's fantastic. Yeah, I think I started sewing somewhere between, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 years old. So I was raised actually Quaker Baptist, and we would go up to my aunt's house, all the women and children, during the day. And I was older than a lot of the kids, so I did not want to play with the younger kids. So I would stay upstairs with all the women, the moms, and they would try to keep me busy by giving me things to mend. And that's how I started sewing. And my aunt had a craft room, and oh, I just loved her craft room. Yeah, my mom used to make all of our clothes. So what I'll do is I'll make a card today using this today, guys, and then I'll make some more projects over the weekend and post them up on the fan club page. That is fun. I remember doing that also. I remember going to school and they were teaching us spool knitting. Does anybody remember spool knitting? You would take an old wooden spool from a sewing machine and you would knit a snake. I remember, Marlene, my mother would, before, she always had this sewing basket, and then we'd have construction paper before we were allowed to take her scraps, and we would make doll clothes with construction paper, sewing them. Yes, the sewing cards, Polly, I remember those. Now, you could also, with these dies, guys, as this one especially, like, this could be super fun. You could use this on material, and you could, like, put a couple of these together and make a bracelet. How fun would that be? You could also get remnants of leather and die cut these out. You could, if you have a rip in your pants, you could take this and use this pattern and stamp on your jeans or something and then sew that. You could do it on a handbag. Sky is your limit. And you can see from these stitching dies, the 22 size tapestry needle, it is perfect for going through here like butter. And just like that, I have, yes, my grandmother one year, because I am old enough of the age where you only got like a few Barbies growing up, and she would take all the scraps from making various different clothes for people, and she made us Barbie clothes. And I wish I knew where that stuff was at this age, but unfortunately, I do not. Hello, Amy. So, there is our, and I'm going to leave this needle here for Christopher in case he wants to sew. Do you see that? Look at how fabulous. And that did not take long at all, guys. Now, we're going to turn this into a card. I know that I sat here and I was prepping for a scrapbook page But at this point, I want to make a card, and then we're going to come back. But look at this. So, and I can pull this one out too. These are all the different colors. So like I said, I'll make some more this weekend, guys, and then I'll post. But I was having fun with this too. You can do French knots. You guys see that? And you could also do a lazy stitch. And this is just the Brutus Monroe. I highly, highly, highly suggest that if you guys get our 100-pound cardstock, and that, like I said, I like to put it through 4 times because then it just pops it out like I did. We have the stamp set, but it is sold out, so just put in for notified. Right now, we have the die set in stock, and then Daryl just finished making another batch. That's okay. Well, next time you place your order, grab this because you do not want to miss out. So what we're going to do, I'm going to clear my space a little bit, but how fun is that? And guys, this is just, let's see, this is this one, and then this is this one. Do you guys see? But literally, if you just type into your computer embroidery stitches, there's a million. Like this is like, I think it's a lazy stitch. It's like some type of flower stitch. And then these are French knots. And then right there, you have the basic stitch. So I'm going to put this in here. And like I said, you can just have so much fun. I mean, like, look. Once it's kind of like the leaves that Christopher was doing. You just can't stop. Okay. And again, you guys do not want to miss grab that floss too. Hello, Shannon. Okay. I'm going to stop for right now. Okay. So let's make a card with our little stitch friend. Should we do, hello, Michelle. Should we do, we'll do a clean card, okay, guys? Or should we do just a little mixed media, because it's May? If we don't like it, we can always throw it away. They are the stitched items. The stamp is sold out. And if you type in brunch into the search bar, everything from the August collection will come up except for the subscription items. So just type in brunch and it'll come up. The stitched stamp set is on there. You will need to type in BRU5673 to be notified for when it comes back in. Okay, so let's see. Let's do a little mixed media. I got you hooked. Okay, so this is a yellow orange aqua pigment. We're going to put some candy red. You're welcome. You're fine. So we're trying to do the stitched stamp set. Now, again, this might be a complete failure, and what happens if it is? Then it just goes in the trash, guys. So what I did is I put the yellow orange aqua pigment here, and I put the candy red, and this is our slimline, And I am just going to dip in there. I'm going to do a couple of these. Oopsie. Let's see if I can find. Okay, one more. Okay, so there are, some of it's already started shipping. We are going in waves that we're waiting on a few dies from Chicago. They got held up. As soon as yours ships, you'll get a notification. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these here to dry. Let's clean up our mess. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat set this. Still a little wet. And I always like to dry my stuff from the back too. I find that speeds up the process. If you're putting it down on the surface to dry, you're actually heating up the surface as much as you are the project. So if you do it up in the air a little bit, it dries it much faster. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Misty out. And I'm just putting some of the stitch borders down. And I am going to get out our raven. I'm going to just stamp it one more time. And if I wanted to, I could take that template and I could wind that up and put down a secondary collar on there. All types of fantastic stuff. Since we're doing a little mixed media, I'm just going to make this a little inky. I'm not looking for perfect this way. Again, I'm going to clean. Whew. This is the Savannah. I like this one. This one is going to be gone very soon. This is our squeaky clean stamp cleaner. Oh, that smells so refreshing. And again, I'm just going to clean my stamps. And then we need a sentiment, right, guys? I was thinking this one, but I think I'm going to pass. We have this fabulous stamp set. Let's see. Which one? What do you guys think? Shine Bright, Live Life in Color. You Are a Work of Art. What do you guys think? Spread Some Sunshine. I like You Are a Work of Art. And this is our Sunny Sentimental set. And we now have it in a bundle with the other 6x8s, or you can buy it individually. Oh, that would have been a good one. Okay. Take this out of here. Let's see. other thing is I am going to just do a little bit more. And what I did is I put some Raven on there, and then I just sprayed it with water and splattered it with a paintbrush. And then I'm just going to cut this because a slimline is the same length as a regular piece of cardstock. I just cut an inch off of that piece that we cut from the jack-o'-lantern, and I'm just looking for tape runner. Now I got this asked the other day, so there you can put your tape runner down. Just make sure that there's one way that unrolls it correctly and the other way takes it off. And there's really no way of fixing that easily if it messes up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And what that's going to do is I'm going to put these tails in here in the back. Everybody with me so far? Now, I'm going to wash my hands a little bit because I'm all inky with Raven ink. Okay. Everybody's good so far? And then I like to adhere my stitched items down with foam tape because it ends up giving it a little bit of girth on the back. And it holds down your stitching. Oopsie. And we sell this foam tape, and it is amazing. And the back is relatively easy to get off. And what I did is I put the same jack-o'-lantern up there as I used for the stitching. And I'm just going to use our slimline card bases and score it at 3.5. Everybody got quiet. Did I lose anybody? They're still there. Awesome. So that's my card and my inky hand. What do you guys think? So that's one way of doing a very quick card. And you can also, so we want to do one more and then we'll jump. So that's one. Let's see. If I do this one at let's cut this. This is my easy way of doing a card, is I will cut it back off. Hello, Yvonne. And then I have my card base, my card front, and I'm going to cut this. I'm going to take, yes, this paper pad, guys, is amazing. It's the Astra one. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take a 1/4 inch off on 2 sides. And what that'll do is allow me to have that peeking out from underneath. And then what I can do is, if you remember, I cut out 1,000,000 strips. Oh, thank you. So let's do it this way this time, because everybody gets tied up into, they can't sew, but you can use them as borders too. So what I'm going to do is I can take my blue, see what the colors of the rainbow. We have red, we have our blue, we need purple, we need yellow, and we don't have to keep the same pattern. This is what's really cool, is we can mix and match all these different patterns here. So if we got an orange, let's see. What do we want to do with the orange? And we can get our green from that one, and our blue, and that leaves our purple. Yes, this stitch border die set is amazing. Let's see. And what I did is I just die cut this last night, guys. Nothing magical. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to start lining these up. Do we want to do this or do we want a slimline? Aw, you are amazing and happy birthday. So guys, do we want to try to do another slimline or do we want to do the A2 size card? So this is, we could do it on that green is poison apple. I got the assorted. So do you guys like this? I'm kind of liking this, so I think we're going to go with this. Okay. So I'm going to just put this on here. And I'm just using a tape runner, guys. And like I said, you can stitch all this, or you could just simply not. And I'm going to overlap it just a little bit on some of them, but not others. That's okay, Kara. That's why you have replay. I felt you here in spirit. And I think I also want to pull this blue too. I love the color of Midnight of our cardstock. Mary Landers, done. And while I'm putting this down, I want to let you guys know we have a few tickets left of the merrymaking event. There's 2 in person. That's it. We have the anniversary tickets, and you can be in person or virtual for either one of those events. And then I heard through the grapevine, because Christopher ran in here, there are 6 inspiration boxes left for this month. 6. So if you are even thinking about wanting one, do not hesitate, because they will be gone. And once they are gone, you can get the stuff that's still available a la carte, but it will cost you more. And there are some things in some of those kits that are just not available once the kit sells out. And a lot of people are asking me, where can I get the faux honey? It is not in the kit, guys. Yay! Well, I'm so glad everybody is enjoying things. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I am going to rob Peter over here. Oh, it's too sticky. But let's see. And this is the thing, you guys are more than welcome when you're making your own cards. Don't be afraid of like going out and creating things on a different direction. There are no craft police unless I'm on with Chris. Okay, so let's see. I'm dropping things all over the floor. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna store this again. Whoopsie. And I'm just turning the top up there. Do you see how I just put that up there? And what's going to happen is I will add that like that. Do you guys like that? I like it. And we're going to snip off this tail because it does not need to be there. And from the other side. And then we need to put a sentiment on here. And I like where is the color? Should be shining bright in all of your color. And if you guys are looking for anything that I'm using from the stitching, you can type in brunch into the search and it'll all come up. The Stitch stamp set is sold out, but you can be notified. And then the Astro Burst paper pad came out with the Good Vibrations. And I used the Assorted Cardstock paper pack. Thank you for everyone who's helping with links. Did you see what I almost did? Oh, I did do it. Oh my goodness. So this card is going to change. Again. I should have put the well, You guys like this, or do you guys like that? Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I love the collars at the end also. I think it just gives movement to the card. Okay, guys, 2 slim lines using the stitched border dies. And I know that this one, there you go. So you can put a piece of scrap paper right there and you have a card. So a little mixed media one and a traditional one. And you can stitch or not stitch. Either way, I think it's a fantastic way of creating. So did you guys have fun today creating with me? I know it was quickly. I think we did it in an hour. 2 cards, 2 slim lines, and we sewed. So I think that's pretty good. Do you guys have any questions at this point? I know that we have some very exciting things coming up, and I know that things are selling out. So if you guys are interested in anything from the August release, I urge you to go onto brutusmonroe.com and quickly grab yours today. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed everything. I love creating with you guys. It is, I swear I can hear your voices in my head. But whether you're going to sew or just create with the stitching dies and make a border card, I think either way you go, there's no wrong way. But I hope you have a great day. Remember to create your ending, and I will see you from behind the scenes on another day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.